Hey guys, welcome to a training camp edition of X's and O's with defensive backs coach Ron Milus. And coach, this is gonna be fun today. You're gonna teach us what you're teaching the players and how that translates onto the football field.
Yeah, you know what? It'll be a different look for the public to get an idea of what our players actually are told to do and actually see them kind of do it in a practice type of setting.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. Let's get started. What's first?
Our Coach Harris has got one of these balls, so he's simulating a running back who actually goes through the line of scrimmage and is running the alley per se. What we're telling him to do is that we want him to stay on the inside hip of the ball carrier. And at that point, we're telling him to push it from hash to numbers to sideline, keeping that ball on his left shoulder throughout. And the biggest key, I think, when we talk about this drill is that we're telling him he needs to chew up the grass. He needs to close the distance between the ball carrier and himself, so there's not a lot of space for that ball carrier can actually try to cut back. But as you watch him, you can see that Rayshawn has taken an angle inside out, and once we roll the ball, that's simulating that guy actually hitting the alley. And at that point, we're telling him we need to turn that into a sprint tackle. Okay, so here we are in a team setting. Our offense has got actually an excellent play. They've got a jet sweep. They have, for the most part, they've outflanked our defensive end. They've got our corner kicked out, and there's an alley. Okay, so at the end of the day, he's like the ball that we were rolling a second ago. And you can see Roderick timing it up from inside out and not slowing down, closing up this green spot and executing an excellent sprint tackle.
Well, you look at that, coach, you see the fans watching with the ball, and they're like, what is that? There's a method to all of this, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that fans don't realize, that when we're at practice, we rarely take a guy to the ground. And so this is our way of basically an example of trying to execute a tackle. All we're teaching here with the compression tackle is the ability to leverage a ball carrier. And so we're simulating the fact that the ball carrier's here, and we're trying to keep the ball on the left shoulder with the guy coming from the right, and the right shoulder from the guys coming from the left. And all we're doing is simulating that the guy cuts to this gentleman's right, and we end up executing a sprint tackle, and the guy on the inside is just leveraging the ball at that point. Here's a great example of a compression tackle in a team setting. We got an outside linebacker sitting here, Chenna, and we've got an inside, we got one of our safeties who's actually playing the hook, okay? Ball snap, ball's being delivered to Keenan. Keenan is just like that bag we were just witnessing, okay? For the guy that's on the left, he turns this into a sprint tackle. The guy on the right, it's going to end up being a left shoulder tackle. And one thing that we always tell our guys, we got to trust that he's going to execute a right shoulder tackle. He's going to be there for you as far as a left shoulder tackle is concerned. Here's what we're doing right now. All we're working on is what we call a pure step. You can barely see him, but Casey's working on his first step. His first step is a slight 6-inch step, if you want to call it, and that gives him some rhythm, kind of like what you were talking about before. And his next thing he's going to do is going to shoot his hands. So we're working on the rhythm between our feet and our hands at the line of scrimmage as a bump and run defender. Well, here I got a back example with Mike Davis. You can see him, this is a one-on-one situation. So he's in his position. He should be using a right foot pure step since he's a right corner. Hopefully he'll end up with two hands, one hand to none. And the key for Mike is that he's got himself in what we would call the lead position. He can't get ran by, but he's in position that he can still play a back shoulder fade that the quarterback is trying to throw. So he does a really nice job of finishing. But the key to that was that at the line of scrimmage, footwork, hand placement, got him in the position where he can succeed at the end of the down.
Come on, Bull fans, you want some more of this? Click subscribe, hit this button right here. Click this button right here and you can get all of this that you want. Come on, Bull fans.